Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, and I'm taking care of business. Joining me today is Jim Dewald, who is Dean of the Haskayne School of Business at the University of Calgary. Thanks, Jim, for joining us today.
It's my pleasure, Mario.
All right, let's talk about the Creative Destruction Lab of the Rockies at the U of C and at Haskayne. I see today that you're announcing that there's in 5 years has generated $1.3 billion in equity value for ventures. Can maybe just first describe what the Creative Destruction Lab is and what it does?
Yeah, well, thanks so much, and just so excited with this announcement and how successful this program has been. And I call it a program because it's not really an accelerator or an incubator. It's a very unique program. Here's how it works. Each May, we don't actually even advertise, but we just post on our website that we're now taking ventures for the next cohort. And we'll get about 300 people who submit businesses. And the criteria is it has to be unique science, something that they have intellectual property on, and the potential to become massively scalable, which is really like ultimately it could become a global or $1 billion business. Yeah. 300 of these a year. Then in the summer, we break them down. We go through a series of meetings with the founders and analysis. The idea coming up with the top 25 opportunities. And they go into the program. And there's 25 in Calgary at Rockies. There's 25 in energy tech, 25 in ag, and 25 in an area called Prime, a lot of which is medical devices and such.
Oh, okay.
And then we put them in a 6-month program where once every 8 weeks, they will meet with, we collect the most amazing group of advisors, angel funders, and people from all over the world now. So we're in a network that goes all the way from Oxford to University of Washington, 10 creative destruction labs. And we get people from all over the world to be part of our mentor group. And when they meet with the ventures every 8 weeks, they identify 3 major objectives for the firm to accomplish in the next 8 weeks. We give them mentors to work with, and we give them MBA students to work with. So it's actually a very unique program for MBA students. Because each 8 weeks, they have to meet these objectives to go to the next stage, it's really very progressive in how people go through the program. And all of the companies become much more effective through the period. Because of the mentorship, the money that they raise, and the support they have from MBA students.
How long has the CDL been in existence?
You know, well, that's a good question. I'm going to guess probably around 8 or 9 years. It started at the University of Toronto, the Rotman School. And when we were doing it at Rotman, I was able to go and visit and said, this is so amazing. We want it at our school too. And since it's become, there's 10 CDLs in all over the world.
And how long at the U of C?
It's been at U of C for 5. We're in our 5th, like it's just kind of barely 5 years right now. We started 5 years ago, yeah. Super
then. Can you talk just a little bit first of all, I don't know if there's a number of obviously ventures there, but can you give me kind of some examples of what kind of things have come out through the program?
Well, boy, that's actually a tall ask because there's been 200 companies have successfully gone through the program. And I should mention, like that number, one thing I didn't mention about as you go through the program, every time we meet, we cut out firms. So it's very competitive. If you want to survive, you have to meet your objectives. There's a little bit of survivor built into the network. But one firm that comes to mind right off the bat is, just make sure I get the Fluid Biomed, which actually at the University of Calgary, scientists have developed a stent for people who have brain aneurysms that is totally dissolvable. So it's actually transformational in terms of how they'll deal with this. They put it in and it dissolves on its own once it's managed the problem. So this is going to save lives forever. But a lot of the businesses have been in the energy sector as well. One where there was a diluent or almost like, it's kind of interesting because we're talking about COVID-19 and the tests. It's almost like a rapid test to see what your mix of energy product is that's going through a pipeline. And this has been, again, quite transformational for the industry. So a lot of these ideas, they figure them out on the lab desk, but they don't know how to take it from the lab to business.
Yeah.
What CDL is all about is giving the judgment, the business judgment, and the business knowledge and the financing to take these things all the way.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So tell me why that's important right now, especially for this city and for this province, when we're looking at, some of the challenges, obviously, the overall economy has had over the last couple of years. Why is it important this sector, whether it's technology or the scalable science, to the overall economic well-being of this city?
Well, at Calgary is, I'm now hearing it admitted by all of the energy leaders that we are in an energy transition. And the energy industry is going to look different than it does today. And I don't know when it'll be, like 15 years, 20 years, but it's going to change. And that gives us a choice as a community. We can either resist it, or we can, just cash out while we can, or we can use the knowledge that we have and the infrastructure and the money that we have to be leaders in transition and in transformation. CDL is very much about the last approach, saying, okay, well, we've got smart people here. We understand energy. Let's be leaders in transition and in transformation. And let's be ahead of the game and make sure that, Canada is ahead in energy as an example, but we also apply the same thing in agriculture, because again, we've got to feed the world and it's getting tougher and tougher, but there's a lot of technology and new ways of doing it using artificial intelligence and other systems. Why not develop all that here and replace the employment that we had in the conventional energy industry, move those people who are highly technical engineers, let's move them into new technologies and advance our city. So I get excited about CDL because it works. There's a lot of different ideas, a lot of different incubators and programs. Now we have the proof, over $1 billion in value in less than 5 years. This thing works.
All right, super. Thanks, Jim, for joining us today.
My pleasure. All the best.
All right, super. That was Jim Dewald, Dean of the Haskayne School of Business at the University of Calgary. I'm Mario Toneguzzi, and this has been Taking Care of Business. Thanks for joining us today.